What's goody? Hey man, so this is a video that I already made a topic on about 2 weeks ago, dude, but I feel like we're at the point now where this kind of beef, I guess, is so outlandish that I absolutely have to make a video on it. So, yesterday, LeBron James, before the game versus the Pacers, I want to say it was, he went on the Pat McAfee show during the day and everything like that and talked about a whole bunch of stuff. He said that Giannis would score 250 points a game if he played in the 70s, which, while it is an exaggeration, I don't disagree that Giannis would absolutely dominate in the 70s, which is something that a whole lot of people had a problem with LeBron saying. He talked about how MJ doesn't really want to have a relationship with him or doesn't really want to talk to him until LeBron's done playing, which I think is kind of weird considering the fact that MJ was such a mentor to Kobe and everything like that. But then I think Kobe and LeBron were really close, especially when Kobe got to LA. So I just think it's a little weird that MJ doesn't want to have a relationship with LeBron. I do think he's kind of intimidated by LeBron, whereas with Kobe he didn't feel quite as intimidated because Kobe was so enamored with him. And then the main thing that the man talked about was Stephen A. Smith, or the main thing that got traction was he talked about how Brian Windhorst pretends to be his best friend and everything like that, and how the guy's weird. He talked about Stephen A. Smith beef and how Stephen A. Smith would be smiling from ear to ear, which literally I saw somebody say that sounds like something Flight would say, which is like such a fact. He said that Stephen A. Smith would be smiling ear to ear and everything like that when he heard that LeBron was talking about him again. And the beef is just insane. Stephen A. Smith went on his own podcast after that, and he was talking about it on First Take too, but he went on his own podcast after that, and he was talking about, oh, if LeBron would have put his hands on me that day that he walked up to me on the court, I'd have smacked the hell out of him. And he did go on to say that he would have got put down like a dog by the Goliath of a man that LeBron James is. Those were his words, not mine. So don't tell me I'm glazing. Those were literally his words. But this is insane. First of all, I have problems with Stephen A. Smith's side, and let me tell you why. I believe what should have happened is when LeBron James... Look, I feel like Stephen A. Smith has been extremely two-faced during this and extremely fake during this, and let me tell you why. Stephen A. Smith has always been somebody that has said if any athlete has problems with him, he's at games all the time, he wants them to come and talk to him face-to-face and everything like that. But then when LeBron did it, he said he wanted LeBron to call him because LeBron has his number. That's interesting, because why is it with LeBron you want him to call you instead of talking to you face-to-face when LeBron's problem wasn't with anything you said about his play or even his son's play, which is something I need people to grasp. LeBron James's problem, from everything that I've seen, from everything that I'm using the context clues and my own common sense to figure out, his problem was not with anything Stephen A. Smith said about Bronny's play. His problem was when Stephen A. Smith said, I am coming to you as a father and begging and pleading with you. That was where you lost LeBron. That's where it seems like the lip readers were saying when he was talking to Richard Jefferson at the game and everything like that, where he was saying that that's where Stephen A. Smith lost him. All Stephen A. Smith should have done was acknowledge that he was wrong to talk about LeBron James as a father in that manner, while still saying, I don't take anything back that I said about Bronny, because Bronny's a professional athlete that is in a professional and public environment at work and that Stephen A. Smith is within his own work constraint and work responsibilities to criticize him as a basketball player. That's all he should have done. He should have apologized to LeBron and to LeBron's family for the way that he criticized LeBron as a father, but he also should have stood on business with what he was saying about Bronny. Then the other day, we have Bronny go out there and drop like 39 points in a G League game, and Stephen A. Smith says, well, I've always known he was going to show flashes. I've always known this guy could be a really good NBA player. And you got Richard Jefferson responding to him with that famous meme of that famous gif of him talking about some... Because you was not saying that. I have never in my life seen a clip of you talking about Bronny in that positive of a light up until recently. So let's be serious about that. You were not saying that all the whole time. Everything I've seen you say about Bronny was negative and how he wasn't ready, how he wasn't that, and everything like that. In the same way with most people who've been saying it. The man is a hooper. The man is developing extremely well in the G League. He is doing better than other picks either after him or before him from this season are doing in the G League and in the sparse NBA minutes that he's getting. He's doing better than a lot of these guys, right? Okay. And then Stephen A. Smith starts talking about, I would have punched him, I would have swung on him if he touched me, blah, 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 blah. I don't even have to go into that. We all know LeBron James would have put that man on his ass quick with one pinky toe. Okay, we all know that. I don't have to say anything about that. Stephen A. Smith even went on to say it himself that LeBron would have put him on his ass, basically. Okay, so I have nothing to say about that. Here's why I like this from LeBron James. LeBron James has been in this league for 22 years. He has been the most criticized player of all time. He has had to deal with things that no other superstar, no other player in NBA history has had to deal with criticism-wise and being in the public eye and everything like that since he was 18, 17, 16 years old before he was even in the NBA. And now in his 22nd year, somebody finally crossed the line, and it's one of those things where I don't just think it was because Stephen A. Smith crossed the line. I also think it was because it was Stephen A. Smith, who is the most prominent face in sports media. That's part of the reason that LeBron is taking this so harshly and is responding so strongly to this, which I am fine with, because it sends the message to other guys like Skip Bayless, to other guys in the media and everything like that, to Mad Dog Russo, to all these guys in the media, that LeBron James does not give a damn. He is willing and ready to come after you now because he's in year 22 and he's tired of the disrespect. And that's why I like it from LeBron. I also like this from LeBron James because Pat McAfee is pretty publicly known as Stephen A. Smith's biggest op. And Stephen A. Smith's biggest op when it comes to like ESPN and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's everybody knows that Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee don't get along in that way, and that Stephen A. Smith is maybe intimidated by him or whatever because he thinks that ESPN loves Pat McAfee and everything like that, right? So the fact that he went on Pat McAfee's show instead of a show like Shannon Sharp's or The Pivot or wherever else I'm not with people making that a race thing. I'm not with that at all. What I think it was a message to Stephen A. Smith that I'm going to go to your biggest competitor at your own network, who is the new face of new media in sports, and give him the interview that every single other media member in sports wants. It's kind of like when Jordan would only talk to Ahmad Rashad, or like in his career when he did a certain interview. I remember they talked about it in The Last Dance where he would only talk to Ahmad Rashad, where with LeBron James it was like, okay, Stephen A. Smith, so you want to have a problem with me, I have a problem with you. I'm going to go to your biggest competitor at your own network and give him the biggest interview of my entire career, other than when he said he was going to South Beach probably. And I think that was a very, very smart move by LeBron. But then the thing that this is just like one of the pettiest things I've ever seen, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Let me preface this with a backstory. I'm laying in bed last night around 12:30 a.m., so past midnight. And my girlfriend's asleep, so I'm just laying there. I just turned the TV off. We were watching a movie. She sleeps, so I turned it off. And then I was just scrolling Twitter on my phone. I had just finished up a story for USA Today. I was scrolling Twitter on my phone, about to go to bed. And my one homie texts me in all caps, "Peyton, please go look at LeBron's IG," a bunch of laughing emojis. So I'm thinking, did LeBron get hacked? What could LeBron have posted? Was it something about the game winner he hit? Oh yeah, and by the way, in that same day where he went on that Pat McAfee show and said all this, he tipped in a game winner. Now, it wasn't his best game of all time, don't get me wrong, but he did tip in the game winner against the Pacers, who are a playoff team, so that's hilarious. And I go and I search up King James on Instagram, and the first thing I see is a clip that I was seeing circulating around Twitter, around the comments of Twitter, ever since Stephen A. Smith said that he would have swung on LeBron. And it was this clip of Stephen A. Smith like boxing with this trainer or whatever, throwing some of the weakest punches you'll ever see. And while I don't really give a damn if he was throwing weak punches, because the man is 60 years old. He's just like, he's not a boxer or nothing. Like, I wasn't expecting the man to be throwing Mike Tyson punches, but it was kind of funny for people to show that clip right after he was talking about I would have swung on him. People were like, man, these punches would have felt like a SpongeBob hit to LeBron, everything like that. Dude, LeBron posted that clip with a meme on the next slide, and then he posted that same clip on his Instagram story with laughing emojis after laughing emoji after laughing emoji. That is one of the pettiest things I've ever seen LeBron James do when it comes to a media member. In fact, that is the pettiest thing I've ever seen LeBron James do when it comes to a media member. Oh, and the Instagram story is still up. I'm sure the post is still up too. LeBron James did not delete that hoe. That is one of the craziest things I've ever seen happen. That is hilarious. You have every single member of the Lakers liking it. I saw this post maybe like 10 minutes after it got uploaded, so I'm sure there's way more comments on it now. But I saw Matt Barnes on it commenting, "You ain't shit," with a whole bunch of laughing emojis. Bro, this man LeBron is really taking this personally. He really is not rocking with the stuff that Stephen A. Smith is saying or doing right now, and I think it's great. I think it is good that sports media members need to be called out and everything like that, and I think it's really interesting to see a lot of people who have been super critical of LeBron and of Bronny throughout his career and their careers, who are now switching up and are like kind of on LeBron's side of this, or kind of like, you know what I'm saying, trying to play both sides with this a little bit. I think it's really funny to see who's switching up and everything like that. But dude, for LeBron to not to not address anything that anybody ever said about him throughout his 22-year career until now, and then he comes after the biggest face in sports media right around the same time that is announced that he is getting a $100 million contract from ESPN. It's not just a chess move. It's hilarious. Like, it is genuinely insane. So, yeah, this beef is crazy. I never thought I would see this, especially now with LeBron James in my life. So let me know what y'all think about it, bro. But it's definitely entertaining, and it's making the March basketball that I was talking about being boring and everything like that, yesterday's video, it's definitely making it more exciting now. All right? All glory to God. Love y'all. Thank you for watching.